Hello there.
So in this video, it's been a little bit since we've talked about the Monsterverse. I'm going to give you guys an update on the latest Monsterverse leaks and rumors that we are hearing about this Monsterverse film coming out in 2027. Now, it is still a little bit of a ways away. It'll be a while before we get any probably really concrete leaks that are actually telling us what the future of the Monsterverse is going to be. But we've had quite a few things already that have hinted at what that future is. So we're going to discuss it in this video. We're going to discuss what we are hearing recently as of December of 2024 about the latest Monsterverse movie. And we're going to break down whether or not the Monsterverse will probably continue after the next film. We're discussing it all in this video. If you guys enjoy my Monsterverse content, consider subscribing. And let's get into it.
The Atomic Fair.
So with this upcoming Monsterverse film, which is most likely going to include Godzilla and Kong, yet still remain a more hyper-focused Godzilla film, but I can't expect them not to include Kong. I can't think that for financial reasons, they wouldn't include Kong. Not only is Kong Skull Island one of the most successful Monsterverse movies, every movie in the Monsterverse that has been the most successful has featured both Godzilla and Kong. So just thinking about it from a Suits point of view, from a shareholder's point of view, this is most likely the route they are going to take with this film.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Now, so far, some of the things we have heard about this movie that, like I said, is still a while away. We're still probably going to have a little bit of time before we start hearing really concrete leaks. But we are hearing that this will be a more emotional film, a darker film, and a more Godzilla-focused film. I'm guessing they're going to take a lot of inspiration from what we've already seen with Godzilla -1, and they're going to give Godzilla quite a bit more respect in this next film and move away from some of the Showa era Godzilla stuff that we saw in Godzilla x Kong. I mean, really, if we were to go any further down this route of silliness, we would have probably a Godzilla movie where Godzilla is bench pressing and doing backflips. And Kong is talking and singing songs. I mean, we got to a point in Godzilla x Kong where things did really get to the extreme of silliness, and it was a major problem for a lot of fans, mainly in like some of the ways Godzilla moved, some of the ways Godzilla acted, and I wouldn't really even say so much Kong, but the idea that Kong got a glove, like an Infinity Gauntlet-like glove, they called it the Beast Glove in the film. I think there's just no denying that for some fans it's a bit much, and that's okay, that's perfectly fine, but in this next movie, we are definitely pushing more towards a serious film. Now, what we are hearing about this movie, besides it being a more emotional story, besides it being a darker story, is the potential that they could include Godzilla Jr. in this next film, simply from a marketing point of view, so they could have a cutesy monster to market. I could see them doing that, and also for the fact that Godzilla is going to have an emotional story arc, which is what we've already touched on. In order for something like that to happen in Godzilla, to get more character development, I think that they would need to introduce Godzilla Jr., or at least want to introduce the character, to give Godzilla more nuance, to give his character more layers, and give him a little bit more emotional depth. Giving Godzilla a child would allow general audiences to resonate with him a bit more, and would allow audiences to feel that sense of connection that they feel with Kong, maybe with Godzilla as well. Now, of course, us Godzilla fans, dude, we have been connected with Godzilla since childhood. I mean, I've been a fan of Godzilla since I was a little boy. I used to go to the movie store and rent all the movies and watch all the movies. So, you know, you have a movie like Shin Godzilla where Godzilla's evaporating the city, I still feel connected to him.
What the fuck?
But to a lot of general audiences, Godzilla is simply a cultural icon, is simply a giant monster, and they need to feel that sense of connection. And with Kong being an ape, it's much easier to humanize with him and feel like you can relate to him, with apes having much more human-like characteristics. So we're hearing that there may be the introduction of Godzilla Jr. We're hearing this is going to be a darker, more emotional story centered more around Godzilla. But what I've also been hearing recently, of course, is that we're going to get another redesign for Godzilla. If you just think of things from a marketing point of view, it makes way too much sense for them to have another Godzilla form. They gotta sell those toys somehow, and I think that this is a major reason for why they keep changing Godzilla's design almost every single movie. I think they fully intend to add another evolution for Godzilla. We're going Goku mode at this point, in this next film. Now, what I think it's going to be is like a hyper-evolved form that's like a mix of Godzilla's normal form with some elements of the evolved Godzilla, including probably white dorsal plates. Maybe in this next film, his skin may be a darker green as opposed to the traditional like gray/black coloring that we get for Godzilla. But the big thing that I am now hearing in the past month or so about this movie from reading the recent leaks and rumors online is that they are intending to double down on the quality of the CGI in this next film. And I think that would make perfect sense. And I know this is like a controversial take, but I think Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire was actually a step down in quality from Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I'm not going to get too into that in this video. That's a whole video of its own that I'll make discussing why the CGI seems to be downgrading from Godzilla vs. Kong to Godzilla x Kong, and I'll be pointing out exactly what I think makes the CGI look slightly worse. Not that it looks terrible, but I don't think it was nearly as good as Godzilla vs. Kong. So in this next film, we're hearing that they are going to touch up the CGI and that they want the visual effects to rival what we saw in Godzilla -1. Now that makes perfect sense, and the release of Godzilla -1 is going to impact this next MonsterVerse movie in a massive way. I truly think it's going to impact it in such a huge way, considering the fact that they are definitely going to be including Godzilla in a much bigger story arc to put it side by side with Godzilla -1 and show Godzilla the same kind of love that -1 did, as well as introducing a more emotional, deeper rooted human story. I could see them doing that as well, and we're already hearing rumors about that. But also wanting the VFX to be a staple for Godzilla, wanting the VFX to be iconic and be, you know, representative of this cultural icon that is Godzilla. So that is what we are hearing about this next MonsterVerse film. In terms of who is going to appear as the villain, so many people want Zozlahawa to appear as the villain. They want him to actually end up being Space Godzilla, and it really wouldn't take much of a retcon or even just more expansion of the lore for them to make Zozlahawa Godzilla. It's not exactly clear-cut that Zozlahawa is Godzilla, and I know that they've already come out and said it in the movies, guys, but you can't deny the fact that when they introduced the character or the idea of this Zozlahawa character, they were definitely like seeding the idea that this could be Space Godzilla, especially when you look at the concept art for Godzilla vs. Kong and the fact that they were going to have a flying Godzilla in that mural that all of the other Godzillas and Kongs were fighting. So these are kind of the latest things that we're hearing about this movie. I'm scraping and scratching trying to find any pieces of information that I can get on this film to pass along to you guys, but this is kind of where we are. So comment down below, let me know what you guys think and who you want as the villain, because while I do think it is hopefully going to be Zozlahawa or Space Godzilla or just Space Godzilla period, while I'm really hoping that we go cosmic, I think there's a big chance that we get a character like Biollante, that we go deeper into the Hollow Earth and find Biollante, or even later down the line that we end up getting Destroyer. Now, whether or not this next Godzilla movie is going to be the final MonsterVerse film, I don't think so, but I think it really goes on a film by film basis. It depends on how successful each film is, unfortunately. All movies and all franchises kind of work this way, but the MonsterVerse especially. It's like they wait until this next movie is coming out and seeing what the hype is and seeing what the box office numbers are before they even greenlight another film. It's not like Avatar or Star Wars or Marvel or, you know, any other big franchises, even like Jurassic World, where they say, hey, there's going to be a new trilogy of films. We are kind of going on a film-by-film basis, so until this next Godzilla Kong movie comes out, we're not really going to know where the future of the MonsterVerse is headed, but we will definitely know by the end of this year, especially when Monarch Season 2 hits Apple TV+. So comment down below, let me know what you guys think. This is all I got for the latest MonsterVerse updates, and for this video, that's all I got, guys. So until the next video, be safe and stay well. Be blessed. Bye-bye.